Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Maria from Under the Night Moon, and I'm here today to do a craft with me video using the most amazing collection of digitals that Debrina over at the Pixie Dust Files made just for my shop. These are just two of the pages that come. She made a set, and it's a journal set. It's absolutely beautiful. It's named Full of Grace, and I just love it. And May is the month for the Blessed Virgin Mother Mary, so I thought it was appropriate to bring this to my shop. She made it a while ago, but it's just so beautiful. I had to make sure I had the proper time to dedicate to it and also be able to show you how to make a book using it, so that if you want a prayer book or you need a gift or you just want to make one for yourself, you'll be able to do that with this kit. And she gives you so many beautiful images to use, and I just absolutely adore it. Now this is my second video because yesterday I made one and I forgot this page right here, if you can believe it. This is what I made in the video yesterday. So we're gonna do this again. I also have a request to make the vintage looking Scotch tape. And so that's for you, Dots Lady. If you're watching, I'm gonna show you right now real quick how to make that, because it's so easy. And it is so much fun. I'm telling you right now, you're going to love, love, love making this for your journals. So let me put all this aside. It's super easy. All you need is some parchment paper here, which I have cut out. Some simple Scotch tape, the clear cellophane kind. This is just from the Dollar Tree. And you will need some alcohol ink. I'm using the Ranger. This is caramel color. I got it at Michael's. It's available everywhere. I think it comes in a pack of 3 different browns. And honestly, I don't think it matters too much, but I love the caramel color. That seems to work for me. So all you're gonna do is put your tape onto the parchment paper. And honestly, I think the trickiest part of this is like trying to see where you put the tape. Oh, and you need a cotton ball. Yes. So I'm just gonna do 2 little strips here, but it's up to you. You can do a whole sheet. You can just do a couple. Personally, I like to just do a few at a time because I don't know, that's just what I do. Okay, so like I said, it's kind of tricky finding out because you can't really see it too well. I suppose you could put it on top of something. That might help. Yeah, that does a little bit. Okay, and all you're gonna do, okay, is squiggle some of this on there. Now, you can use gloves if you want to. I guess the artist in me, I don't know, but it will stain your hands a little. Okay, so do you see how easy this is? All you do is squiggle it on there, and then you take your cotton ball and you just kind of pounce. Now, it doesn't matter if you go over the edge. It dries pretty quickly, and you're gonna peel this off anyway. And that's what the parchment does. The parchment keeps it from sticking, kind of like when you're baking with it. You know, it just provides that barrier. So you can do layers, you can do different colors. There's really absolutely no rules to this whatsoever. And do you see how easy that is? It's done. And then I just put it somewhere to dry, maybe an hour or so. I like to make sure it's really dry. And that's that. It can't be, it's just one of the easiest but most rewarding little projects out there, I think. So that is for you, Dots Lady. I am gonna mail you a couple of little pieces because I said I would. But now you can make it yourself. And yeah, it's so much fun. It's so easy, and it just adds the perfect little detail to your journals. So there is that. And so, okay, so the next thing we're going to do is, now just keep in mind, I think this is my second craft with me. So, yeah, just keep that in mind as we go. But what I want to do is just show you the file folder. Now there's a 1,000,001 videos out there on journals that you can make with file folders. You know, just your simple, this is from the Dollar Tree also. They come in packages and it's nice, heavy, middle grade cardstock. So it makes a beautiful book. And then if you add cardstock to it, it's gonna add even more durability. And then you have plenty here to make another book, and then you have the little cut-off pieces to make tags. And I can tell you just from yesterday's video, I won't have enough time to show you how to make tags, but maybe something down in the future we can do that. But today I really just wanted to focus on making a quick little book using these absolutely beautiful papers. Now in the kit, she gives you journal pages, and aren't they beautiful? And then here's another one, and there is one more that I already cut, and it's these beautiful frames. So what I like to do always in my journals is mix things around. Now you don't have to at all. You can just use this kit and be perfectly happy. But when I was just thinking about what I wanted to make, I really wanted to use blue. And so I went and found another digital from the Pixie Dust Files. And this one is called, I had it written down here, Dreamy Blue, I think. Yeah. Okay, so I will link down below what the name is exactly, but it's so beautiful. And I just thought this would be so pretty for the cover, and then we have our pages on the inside. Also, I always like to add maybe some scrapbook paper. Here's just some sketch paper, but I love having like this texture on the edge. We've got some pink copy paper. I've got some, it's vintage note paper. Here's some beautiful Anna Griffin paper. So you see how we can just have a little bit of fun here with our book building. And then, oh, I didn't show you, but she also made the most beautiful envelope for us, and we will use that as well. Now, I like to work small, so I kind of shrunk that down. So I'm going to show you our measurements here are 4.5 by, 4.5 by 6. And then there's a 1/4 inch for the center for your spine. And all you're going to do is fold. And then what we're going to do is cover with our cardstock the front and the back with this gorgeous blue. And then in this collection, I think it was just this beautiful angel, and I just thought this would be so pretty on the inside of our book. So that's what I chose. Now, if you did not want to use this collection, you could totally just print a couple of pages extra of the kit that she gives you, or gives us rather. And you could make this beautiful rosier cover, just like so. So pretty. But I think I want to use these for pages, and then, like I said, the blue for the cover. And this is sort of what it looks like here. This is yesterday's book. So you can see the blue, and then that's the inside. So let's, oh, and then I probably closed that too quickly. Isn't that beautiful? So let's get started covering. So what we're gonna do, and just quickly, I use hot glue. I use this amazing glue stick made by Scotch. And I use Fabri-Tac, which Oh, and glossy accents. But I have them in these little bottles here. I'm a little low on both, so we're just going to use the hot glue today, plus it's faster. And we're going to just go ahead. Now, I pre-cut these so that this video wouldn't be really long, but we're going to do some trimming. So I'm going to show you what we're going to do to start with is run a bead of glue along the inside of this fold line. We don't want our glue to be over the fold line, otherwise it's not going to open and close smoothly. So all we're going to do is run a bead of glue, and I want these letters here, and we're going to stay inside that fold line and then press down, just like so. Now the other thing, when you use hot glue, you kind of have to work quickly. If you're someone who needs a little extra time, I highly recommend the Fabri-Tac because it won't dry as fast. And if you aren't used to hot glue, that would be a better choice. Or there's art glitter glue. You can buy that on Amazon. And if you need to know, just send me a message. I'll send a link for that. But I really like the hot glue because it's fast. And, excuse me, they make these little silicone tools that you can press down so that you don't burn your fingers. Okay, so I've done the side and the bottom here. Now, I like, as you guys know, to have pockets in my books. So I'll leave the top open for a pocket. So I'm just going to glue these 3 sides. We've already done 2. Now we're just going to run a bead of glue along the edge here. And I always press it in and really make sure that glue gets into the fibers of the paper. And I use just a super inexpensive glue gun. I think it was Walmart like 5 years ago. It doesn't drip. It's very durable, and yeah, I really like it. Oh, and I use Tim Holtz scissors. I have the large and the medium. Well, I have the small ones too, but these 2 are the ones I use all the time. Love, love, love them. They work really well. Always save all your scraps too, just because you never know. Okay, so now we're going to do the back. We're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to run a bead of glue down the center here. You don't want to get too ahead of yourself in the gluing process, so take your time. I'd say you probably have about maybe 40 seconds before your glue will get not so hot. And you want it hot so that it really bonds. And then let's do the bottom here. And the same, we're going to have the top loading pocket. So do that. Try not to work with red nails. I did my nails and then I didn't realize that I was videoing, because sometimes if you hit the paper, this will get on, the color will go onto the paper. It just happened to me before. I have a pretty good top coat, but you know, red is red. And if you have white paper, you're definitely gonna see a red mark. Okay, so there we have the cover and the back, just like that. Isn't that fun? Now we're going to take our gorgeous little angels here and the same thing. Now I like to have, once I start building the book, pockets on the side. So we're gonna leave this side open. And so we're gonna glue in this direction here. And I always start with the longest one first. And you can measure up your corners, making sure you're staying inside that score line here. And you can trim if the paper is in your way, like it is right now for me. And just take your time. And now we're going to do the top part here. And remember, you know, it's just paper. If you make a mistake and you have to throw it away, it's fine. It's paper, you know. It's not like oh, we got to do the bottom. It's not like some extremely valuable glass, you know, that's broken forever, thank goodness, right? It's paper. We can either print more or we can go to the craft store. There's so many ways to get around mistakes. So, and also too, once you make the mistake, your chances of doing it twice are less. So, okay, so now, and then also too, always make sure you got your words going the right way, the flowers going the right way. Some papers it's hard to tell. And then this one here, it's really just, do I want the lace on the inside or the other side? And so you get to just play. I think I like the lace on the edge there. It's so pretty. So let's do that. Now remember, we're staying inside our score line here. And then our cover is done. It's so easy. I can't remember. I know I did another craft with me for the purple book. But what a beautiful, beautiful gift it will be to make a prayer book yourself with your hands and give it to someone that you love. There's nothing like a handmade gift. And people always hold on to handmade gifts longer, and they hand them down. You know, people love to receive things that are handmade. Okay, so there it is. Isn't that fun? We have our, oh, wait. Oops, getting ahead of myself. So we're gluing the two sides here. I forgot. It's Monday. Okay. And the glue is easy. It just kind of rolls right off. The Fabri-Tac does too. It's very, very forgiving. Okay, and you can remove all the threads and everything at the very end. Unless they're right in my way, I kind of don't bother with the glue gun threads until I'm done, because they're just, you'll spend, you know, 20 minutes removing it all and then have them all back again in 2 seconds. So always save your scraps. And now we are ready to sew the pages in the inside of our book. It's so exciting. This is called a pamphlet stitch, and there are a million, I'm not joking, do it yourself, DIY. Just put in the search how to make a journal, and you will just find so many videos, so many people out there showing you how to make a journal, a pamphlet stitch. So if you didn't catch it with me today, don't worry, there's so many. And if you need help finding a good one, just leave me a message in the comments below, and of course I will definitely help you. Okay, so now I'm getting all of my papers that I want for my pages. Now these print with a border, so this is why I like the big Tim Holtz scissors. You can just in a matter of seconds remove the border pretty quickly. And then I have a small paper cutter next to me where we can trim everything and make sure it's straight. And if that's something that you like to have, is, you know, perfectly straight edges and whatnot, then I recommend, you know, just having a ruler and measure as you go. I don't know if you've figured it out, but I don't really measure a whole lot. I mean, I do minimal because I like to be free. I also like the handmade aspect of things, if that makes sense. So I don't worry too much about getting everything absolutely perfect. But you can, there's certainly no rules. This is, I love art. Thank goodness there's no rules. You know, it's just a matter of what you're comfortable with, and yeah. Okay, so, and then I have found that making a template is the easiest way to do your pages. And so I sort of have one here. And you can do this when you're cutting your file folder. You're gonna kind of see how big you want your pages to be. Maybe we'll use the pink, it's easier to see. So our book is 9 inches by 6. So I like to have about 1/4 of an inch around. So that would make this paper 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. And I don't worry about room for the spine because I like to use a lot of laces and stuff. But again, if you want to measure so you know exactly how much is here and exactly how much is here, you can do that. But for me, once I get my template, then I'm going to take this to all the papers that I've chosen and just sort of measure. Now, it's okay to have different size papers as well. And I'm going to have a couple of those. I'm going to show you that as well. So this one just needs a little taken off the edge. Now remember, we're going to trim them all up with our paper trimmer. Right now, it's just getting them stacked so that we know what we're using for our pages. So this is just pretty scrapbook paper from Joann's, and I want the stripes going this way so that when we fold the page in half, the person can use these to write on. So that makes things very easy. We're just gonna fold this in half because I know that that's gonna be about 4 inches. If it's 8 1/2 by 11, right? Yeah, so it's 4 1/4. And the good news is I like to work small. So that's gonna give us 2 pages here. So I'm just gonna cut this right in the middle. And that is going to, the other way you could do it too is fold. That way you know. Super easy. You see how easy, you don't have to worry about too much. And once you get experience, maybe you're watching more and more videos. See that, just like that, we have 2 pages. You're watching more and more videos and you're getting more confident. You can definitely try the harder, you know, book binding. Now this page here, so beautiful. And it's made for a larger journal. As you can see, the pages would fold like this. So I'm either going to use my template and measure, and I'm going to use my pink paper here. You can put it in the center so you get a little of both, or because it's very close to this here, I might just cut this paper right in half and use use it sideways. And I do this a lot because that way you get these big beautiful roses. If I shrunk this down, the roses would be smaller. And I think these roses are so beautiful, especially with this pink paper here. And then also too, look at this gorgeous lace frame that she gives us. If we fold that in half, what a beautiful little journal page this is. So that's just a little tip. Now the crowns are going sideways, but that does not bother me at all. And I think what we're gonna do with this page is, I really love this, is the Sacred Heart. And then this is a saint. I think that is Saint Rita. And she's the saint of impossible things. And she has an amazing story. she's from the 1500s. She's Italian. She was married into this Italian family, and it's very similar kind of to what we're going through today. But her story is amazing. If you want to know about Saint Rita, just let me know, and I will put a link down below. I'm going to keep Saint Rita, and I'm going to keep Mary here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you later what we're going to do with these. But for the book, we're going to keep our pages. I think I want 8 pages. So 1, 2, 3, maybe more. 4, 5. Oh no, wait. 6, 7, 8. Let's do 10, because I always like to have something very durable for the very first page to kind of hold all the pages to, you know, in place. Not that they're going to go anywhere, they're not, but I like to have something sturdy. And so in yesterday's video, I used this wallpaper, and it just makes for, like, you know, the cover of a book is always like heavier paper. So I found some wallpaper that I thought would be really beautiful, and so we're going to use wallpaper. Now I am going to trim off this stripe here, and this wallpaper probably should have been ironed. You can iron your wallpaper on a very low setting and it'll flatten right out. You have to be really careful. Use fabrics and towels, because if it has any kind of glue, this one doesn't, but if it did, it might cause drama to your iron or just make a hot mess. So always cover it. But once it's ironed, it's so easy to work with. Anyway, okay, so, oops. Oh my gosh, my desk is a mess today, sorry. I think my desk is always a mess. But, okay, so now we have our wallpaper. So now we have all of our pages, right? Was that 8? I think we need one more page. Wallpaper made 9. Let's use our beautiful Anna Griffin. I really love these minty colors. Now, I mentioned that May is Mary's month. I don't really know exactly why. I should. I'm sort of like a taught myself Catholic. I mean, I was born Catholic, but my parents sort of, you know, in the 70s went through like I call it their rebel phase. So I didn't really get a good Catholic upbringing. So now that I'm an adult, I kind of had to go back and learn stuff. So I'm kind of self-taught, but I know May is the month for Mary, and the little kids bring flowers to her. It's really beautiful. It's really sweet. And then there's also an amazing apparition that happened in Fatima, Portugal, that is unbelievably amazing. And that's a whole nother video. But I just love working, and I think the month of May is a perfect month to release these to the world. Okay, back to our book. So now we have our pages. Aren't they beautiful? Right? And how pretty is Mary gonna look with all of this? So now what we're gonna do is just fold everything in half. We're gonna fold them all in half. Now remember, we're gonna trim them up in case they're not perfect. Don't worry. And sometimes I will do them backwards so that when you have the plain page here, and then when you open, it's sort of like, oh, there's pretty. And then also the center of the signature where we sew. So let's see, what did I use for yesterday's book? So the center was this beautiful rose paper. So we want to make sure that our center paper is pretty. And we might use this rose again, actually. Wouldn't that be pretty? Yeah, let's do that. So we're going to fold it this way. And then our beautiful frame, let's fold that this way. And there we go. Now we're gonna assemble how we want the pages to go, like in order. So here's our wallpaper. I think this, we're gonna fold this in half. Now I do have a bone folder here. I like this Teflon one. You can get this on Amazon. And you're just gonna give this a good crease. So I know this is gonna be our first page. Now, this is my little mini chopper. And what we're gonna do is start trimming. And it is okay if every page isn't exactly the same. I actually kind of really like having, you know, a slight difference in pages. Like it just sort of adds more interest. So we're gonna just put something on top of that. So the other thing is with this little cutter here is you can do two at once. Just make sure they're all lined up. And just like that. This little cutter can handle at least 3 copy size weight papers. And it cuts beautifully. And I've had this thing like at least 10 years. So yeah, it's pretty sturdy. It doesn't seem like this is too big. I don't know. We might have to cut this down a little bit. So because I really love this edge, I'm not going to cut that. Let's do this beautiful frame. And then we're going to go back with our bone folder and just make sure everything is nice and straight. And our beautiful center page. You can get this little cutter, I think, at Walmart. This is our Anna Griffin paper. Her paper is absolutely beautiful. I've been a follower of Anna Griffin for at least 20 years, if you can believe that. Maybe more. I'm old. Okay, so there's all our pages. Here's our pink. And now what we're gonna do is gather them all up. And I might make sure they're all going the same way, and then just sort of run your, press them down. This really gives you a nice crease, and it just feels more professional. Okay, so now we're gonna build our pages. So we have this one first. I liked the pink next to the rose. So you're gonna open up and just start putting your pages. Now you can see here the wallpaper is a little bit smaller, so we're gonna just line it up so we're even. And then what should be next? Maybe something plain. I love this sketch paper. You can sketch, do felt tip. Let's do this beautiful frame. That's pretty. And then let's do, we have the note paper here. Oh, I forgot the note paper. Let's do that. Actually, you know what? Which should we have for the center? Anna Griffin or the rose? I'm thinking the Anna Griffin because it's a little bit sturdier. But you can print these on cardstock. I've made books where all the pages were cardstock except a few. That is completely and totally up to you. See, that's the beauty of these kits, is that you can print. Oh, I'm gonna keep it like that. Let's do this. You can print on whatever paper you like. In fact, they have a beautiful linen paper at Walmart. You go to Office Depot. There are so many different kinds of papers and different colors. You could you could print this kit on an ivory paper and it would come out so beautiful. There, like I said, there are no rules. Let's do this one this way. Okay, and then there's our roses for the center. I did that kind of quick, so we're gonna go through so you can see. So see how our book is coming along. And this takes some time. You know, you don't have to rush. Now see, I already know I sort of want an image. I want to see an image on this paper here. So we go like this. So you just sort of do a run through. It's like a preview of how your book is gonna look. And you can move them around. See, I know I want this here. And it's just a feeling. Once you do a couple of these, you figure it out and what you like the best. Take your time, think about things. Yeah, I really like that. I love this stripe paper here. And then the center is our, ta-da, beautiful roses. Hope I'm in frame there. Okay, so now that we know this is how our book is gonna go, and I like this sort of tattered look. Again, you can trim all these down perfectly if that's what you like. It's really making what you like. And now we're gonna just line these up, and you can see right here, that's how our book is going to look. It's so exciting how we already have a book made. Now I'm not worried about this hanging off. I actually kind of like that, but if we use lace along the edge, that will be completely hidden. And that's one of the little tricks that you can do once you start making books. So if we add a little bit of trim there, you see it just sort of hides. But again, this doesn't bother me in the least. It looks beautiful and handmade. Okay, so now let me show you how we're gonna sew these in. Now, you see here, I already have it upside down. So you have to just make sure that your pages are going the right way. And look how beautiful that is. I love it already. Okay, so now we've got our cover. I'm gonna make sure it's the right direction. Now we're gonna get two things to hold down your pages. You can use paper clips. You can use, I like to use these clothespins here. And you're gonna open to the center and you're gonna push and make sure all of your folded papers are flush. You see that? I'm pushing and holding them together. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna center, like this smaller one in the center, because we're gonna sew right through here, and we're gonna do let me see. Pamphlet stitch is usually 3. So we're gonna do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. So we wanna make sure we're getting all our papers and none are outside of the stitching, if that makes sense. I hope so. It'll be easier for you once I show you, actually. Okay, so once we have everything centered, we're gonna take our clips, whatever we've chosen, nice and tight. We're gonna just keep making sure everything is, and if it's not, just start over, and making sure everything is nice and flush in the center, holding it until you can clip it down. And did I mention this was my second video? Okay, we're gonna use this paper clip here, and I'm just going to paper clip these like so. Oh, there's someone at my door. I am not gonna get it. Okay, so you see that right there. Now what we're gonna do is the stitching. Now you can do a template, and actually let's do a template because that's really the best way to do the pamphlet stitch. So you're gonna take your pages, you're gonna line them up in the book. Again, just kind of making a little sneak peek here, making sure everything is straight. You're gonna get a piece of paper that's the same exact length as your book. You see how that's the same exact length? Then you're gonna take a pen and you're going to decide where you want the 3 holes to be for your pages. And I personally want to make sure that I've got the wallpaper holding all the other papers in. So I'm going to do my 3 holes, one here, and one at the top, just making sure this paper stays flush with the top and the bottom. Again, there are thousands of videos on how to do the pamphlet stitch, so if you don't catch it here, there's so many out there, but I promise you it's super easy. Now, one little tip that I learned from Pam at the Paper Outpost, and if you have never been to her channel, you have to go. She's hilarious, and she is a well of information, and her channel is like a sitcom. It's so much fun to watch. She always makes me laugh. But she teaches how to write the top and the bottom, and that's important because once you move this paper away, you don't really, like, okay, so if we didn't write top and bottom, we could do it upside down, especially if you don't measure. Now, if you measure and everything's perfectly equal, well, then you don't have to worry, but I like this little tip. It just makes things super easy. Okay, so now that we have the template, we're going to open up our pages, making sure, again, we're always kind of double checking and making sure everything is right where it should be. Okay, now we're going to press the spine down, take our top, line it up with the top part of the book here and the bottom part of the book, and right in the center of the fold, we're going to mark right in the fold, because that's where we're going to sew in the same direction. That way we know exactly where to sew, or to make our holes. And we can do the little spine area here as well, just for double, making sure we're always even. We've got top and bottom, right? Just like so. So now we just can't mess it up. Now, you could use this pokey tool here. This is just from the Dollar Tree, or there's more expensive ones. Spellbinders makes one. There's all kinds of, there's awls, you know, the wooden handle, a lot of people use those. You can use your crocodile. That thing will go through, you know, that goes through steel, I think. But for this small book, a little, a needle, an embroidery needle would work. I like the sharp thing from the Dollar Tree because it goes right through the papers, no problem. So we're gonna just get our pages ready here by drilling, kind of. I've been watching a lot of garden videos. So yeah, pre-drilling. I've been watching how to make raised garden beds. It's very exciting. Anyway, okay, so now we have our holes kind of prepped. We're just gonna kind of line up our very first one, line up our second one, make sure everything is going through easily. And then we're gonna use twine. You can use seam binding. I have crochet thread. They make waxed thread for bookbinding. You can use seam binding, ribbons. I've used all kinds of things to sew your book with. And generally the rule is you want 3 lengths of the length of your book. So I always go extra just because I don't want to have any problems. Okay, so the pamphlet stitch, here we go. Now, just for the last time, we're just going to make sure everything is lined up, our covers are straight, go in the right direction, our angels are the right direction, our pages are the right direction, right? And that's an easy mistake to make. And you're just going to sew, you're going to go through the center and then right through your book. You're going to pull all the way through until you have about 6 inches left of a tail. 6 to 8 inches there, right? You want to make sure you have a nice long tail, because if you're pulling on the other side, you could just pull it right through the book. Then you got to start over. Okay, so you're going to pull through, see, like I just did there. You can hold on to it too. You're going to go through the bottom, And it's easier to go through your cover and then go through your pages. And it's going to be wobbly. This takes a little getting used to. But once you grab it, just like that, you can kind of pull, make sure everything's tight. Then you're going to go over the center. You're going to jump right over and up to the top. You're going to push that through and then right through your book, like so. And then you're going to pull everything kind of tight. This is where you can kind of adjust, make sure your pages are nice and straight. Don't pull your string too hard because you don't want to rip your papers, but you just want to give it a nice little tug and make sure everything is straight. It's not secure yet, but you're just making sure everything is aligned. And I would say once you do the top coming down, you can take your clips off because you've already got half the book sewn at this point. Now you're going to take your needle and you're going to go back through the center. And sometimes it can be kind of hard finding and everything comes undone, but you just tighten it all right back up, like so. Then you're going to pull, making sure everything's nice and straight, and that's that. You're going to tie a little knot just to make sure. Some people go over that middle string, the one that we jumped up, and just kind of tie that into place. You could bring it down however you tie your knot to make sure it's secure. You know, tying a knot once you have it good, right? We learned that tying our shoes. And then I always really like to do a little bow in the center. Now you can hang charms off of these. You can take little bits of paper and, you know, hole punch a little heart. You know, there's so many different things that you can do once you learn how to make your own book. It's very exciting. And the sky is the limit. It's yours. You can make it however you like. And of course I made this a little too short on one side for a pretty bow, but you get the idea. And that is that, everybody. Look, that is our book. Just like that. We have this gorgeous prayer book. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so now the next thing I like to do is sort of warm up my pages. And I like to just give them a little crease. Get them warmed up so that they lay nice and flat, ready for writing. You can go through and do a corner round on all the edges. Just for time purposes, I'm not going to do that on camera today. But if you have a corner rounder, again, you can find them everywhere. Michael's, Amazon, Hobby Lobby, they just take the edge off. And I do round the corners, but because for video purposes today, yeah, we're gonna just take our time. There's our center. Isn't that beautiful? And I sort of want to show you the spine and then decorate the cover. Let's see, how many minutes have we gone? 48 minutes. That's not too bad. Yesterday's video was an hour and a half. We were carrying on. It was Sunday. But I promise you didn't miss anything. This video is actually a little better because it's less chitter chat about, I don't know what I was talking about. But anyway, so you see how we sort of warmed up all the pages just like that. So pretty. Now, I didn't show you, but you could, before we glued down the cover there, we could have added ribbon for a tie. Yeah, and sometimes I will stitch all the way around too. I didn't for this book just because I just want to show you the basics. Now, I do want to show you how we're going to secure our spine area. And this, you can use so many different things. You can use lace. You can use velvet. One of the books I just made, I used velvet. I like to cover, so the file folder is kind of sticking out, so I don't really want that to show. And what I used yesterday, oh, let me just show you too. This is Fabri-Tac. This glue is amazing if you are looking for, oh, excuse me, it just fabric, lace, glass, leather, wood, trims, paper, grabs fast, dries clear. This is very good glue if you don't want to do hot glue. Now I like to really use these craft ribbons. Look how beautiful. I think we're just going to use this one here. They're very durable. They're super inexpensive. They come in these beautiful little patterns, and they're really durable. Okay, so this print doesn't really have a direction. Now what we want to do is wrap it around, and we have more than enough to do so, but we kind of want to make sure it's even on both sides. Just a pretty little spine, you see that? So now just eyeballing, that's about a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to do about a 1/2 inch of glue here. I'm going to measure it up. And you can do smaller, you know, you can glue just like maybe 1 inch and then work your way up. You don't have to do the whole row. And then the other thing, if you are using, well, really any glue, you don't want too much. You don't want it to be oozing through. There's sort of a balance between the glue, and you'll learn that once you start gluing stuff. And if you have to learn some mistakes, everybody does. I definitely have made many mistakes. But you want nice clean glue. You don't want glue everywhere. And that's that. We're going to trim the little excess off here. Oh, and I didn't glue the center. I forgot to tell you that. So I glued right here, and then when I wrapped it over, I glued the other edge, keeping glue away from the spine. If I had put glue on the spine here, the book wouldn't open nicely. You kind of want to have it open in there. See that little opening there? That's so that your book will open and close. If there was glue all in there, it would get all weird, and your book wouldn't open. So yeah, so that is our that is how we just made a beautiful book, just like that, full of beautiful papers, ready for decorating. And I did want to show you what we're going to do with this paper here. And what I love about Debrina's digitals is she does all the work for you. Her digitals are so thoughtful and so beautiful. Well, let me go. I'm going to come back to that. They're just easy to work with, meaning the work is done for you. Really, it's just you have to decide which you want for your cover, you know? And so in the kit, all of these beautiful, beautiful little prayer cards. And you can use your paper trimmer. I love using my Tim Holtz scissors because I love cutting paper. There's just something about cutting paper I really love. It's just very therapeutic. And I don't know, it's very inspiring. So we're gonna choose one of these for our cover. And I really think I love this image right here. This is the Sacred Heart. I recently met with a beautiful priest who was visiting here in Ave Maria. And, oh, for those of you that don't know, I live in Ave Maria, Florida. It's a town that the owner of Domino's Pizza took all of his money and built a Catholic university right here in the middle of Florida. And he built a big church, and it's just a really quiet, beautiful place to just raise your kids. There's a college here, there's schools. It's close to Naples, Florida, so it's just a beautiful place to live. That's where I live right now. And there's all kinds of people that come to visit and whatnot. And he was telling me that prayers to the Sacred Heart are the most powerful ones, because in the Sacred Heart is where all of us are. So I just think that's really beautiful. And this image is Mary with the Sacred Heart there. And there's a lot more history behind that. You can absolutely learn more about the Sacred Heart online if that interests you. But it's just absolutely beautiful. So with that said, remember I said we were going to keep our scraps. Look how beautiful. We're going to make a little pocket. So what I'm going to do is decorate the cover here for a few minutes. I'll go a little over an hour. I'll decorate the cover with you a little bit. That way you can kind of get an idea how to get started decorating. And then I'm going to list these in my shop. The listing for this digital kit will be in my Etsy shop if you're interested in making your own little prayer book like you learned how to do here. And then if you want to let Debrina know, you can go over to the Pixie Dust Files and tell her how much you love her digitals like I do. She's just an amazing artist, and I feel like we're so blessed to have her artwork because it's just so beautiful. It's just so beautiful. Like, all I did was make the book, but her art is what makes it this beautiful. So, yeah. And this set was a gift. It's just beautiful. Okay, so now I'm also going to use, this is Distress ink, made by Tim Holtz, Walnut Stain. And you can buy these little daubers, or you can use a makeup sponge. But what I like to do is just very lightly, when you cut paper, it sort of has like a little edge. I like to just take the edge off. I don't know how else to explain it, but you can see just by doing a little bit of that, just kind of gave it that like worn in look. Does that make sense? And I love to do it on like sharper papers like this one here. Just take the edge off. I don't know if you can see the difference there, but okay. So, and then before we glue, we're going to just build everything, make sure we love how it looks. Maybe we want to add a little bit of lace here, you know, something hanging down. I love to use this, and I think I'm going to use some of it because this is something everybody can get just about. It's from Hobby Lobby. And this lace is beautiful. And you can buy this online, I'm pretty sure. So let's add a little bit of lace. Or you can just go on eBay. eBay is like the hugest craft store ever built by mankind. You can find absolutely everything on eBay. And I say that jokingly, but really it's not a joke. You really can. So, you know, feel free to go on eBay and just peruse around. Look at all the different scrapbook papers and the laces and, you know, find things that you love. My advice is, if you're just starting out and you don't know what papers to buy, just buy a few, but make sure you love them. If you love them, then whatever you make with them, you'll love. Does that make sense? And I noticed that if I don't love something and I end up buying it because I'm not sure, whatever, I usually don't use it. Okay, now we're going to glue this little pocket down. I am going to put Mary in the pocket and glue. That way I know it's not going to be too tight. I'm going to hold this down with my scissors. I'm going to straighten her out so that I don't glue her to the pocket. We're going to do just a U shape here. If you do buy something that you don't love and you know you don't like it, of course you could try to return it. But if you can't return it, I really love donating extra supplies to my local little schools and churches here. I recently, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw I did a studio tour kind of. Well, I had to clean kind of before I did that, and I just went through my supplies, and if I wasn't using it or if I didn't love it and I've had it long enough to know, I donated it to the church here. And then the church has like a little preschool, so the little kids are using some of my papers and things. I love giving back to the community like that, so I'll share that with you. You could also you know, do a de-stash sale on eBay, or if you have an Etsy account, you can open up for business and, you know, just sell whatever you have there. But I really like donating. Okay, everybody, so that is the cover. Now, just quickly, I'm going to show you. I'm not going to decorate it all the way because it's going to take forever for this video to download, but I really just want to show you how to build a quick little book. Look at this beautiful little aqua bow, and we can put this with Mary. We can put it here. We can use it as our closure. I think I'm going to put it on Mary, but I wanted to just show you quickly how to make a beautiful cover, and then I want to show you the envelope, and then that will be the end. Oh, excuse me. These books will be in my Etsy shop in a few days. I'm going to finish them up. I might make another one, so that'll give me 3, because I made this one without the this one's really pretty because I have this silver frame. How my image of Mary went. You'll see in my Etsy shop, and then there'll be this one as well. But here's the envelope. I'm going to cut this out kind of quickly, just so you can get an idea of how to make the envelopes, because you want to take your time when you make an envelope. And I've learned this from my envelope stacks, because those are all handmade by me. And I print them all out, I cut them all out, I sew them all. So when you're cutting out an envelope, you want to go really carefully and really slowly around the shape of the envelope. You don't want to cut off anything. You really want to make sure you get your scissors as close to that line as possible. So take your time. And the reason for that is when you go to fold it up, you want it to match up. Meaning if you take off too much of one corner, you know, it's going to look kind of funny. So just take your time. And then you're going to need a little scoreboard for the envelope. Or not, I guess you could use a straight edge. You know, let's try the straight edge. That way, if you don't have a scoreboard. Now, a scoreboard is something that has these grooves in it, and you can line up your papers and run your tool through it. But let's say you don't have a scoreboard. You can use a ruler or any kind of straight edge, and you're going to line up your envelope where the lines are. You can clearly see where it should be folded, and you're just going to kind of warm it up. And you can use the back part of your scissors and then fold. That worked pretty good. Now you're not going to fold all the way. This is the other tip. So the first tip is cut really slowly and carefully. The second tip is to not fold all the way, meaning don't press down your creases. Because if you're slightly wonky somewhere, it's going to be hard to fix. So I'm pressing down on my straight edge so that it doesn't wiggle. And there we go. Now we're going to do the 2 sides. This might be easier than the scoreboard actually. And we're going to lift that up. And that one's going to be a little trickier because it's not as big. Some of the envelopes out there have a big tab. Some have a small. This one has a small one because I shrunk it. And I shrunk it because I like to make small books. But that's okay. I'm showing you. So now we're gonna bend the other way so that we're gonna just start building our envelope. And this is why we're not gonna press down. We're just gonna make sure everything matches up. And then we will glue. Look at this beautiful little cross though she gives you on the envelope. Isn't that beautiful? What a beautiful gift this little book is gonna be for someone struggling right now. I don't think there's a human person out there I know that isn't struggling somewhere or has someone that could use a prayer book. It's just, yeah. Okay, so I'm just sort of, just like a preview, I'm just making sure everything matches up, and it does. So now I'm gonna press down these edges here. Now you can use the side of a pen. Okay, I don't like using my scissors. A lot of people use their scissors, but if your scissors have like color, like this, these are black, sometimes you'll get black on your paper. So something plastic would be better. You know, the end of an X-Acto knife, or you could just use your fingernails and really just press down. You can use a butter knife too, like a really dull butter knife. But if you're gonna make books, you might want to just invest in a bone folder, because even if you just make cards, let's say you bought this kit and you just wanted to make a bunch of beautiful cards using these gorgeous images, right? If you bought just white cardstock cards and cut these images out and just made a beautiful card, you're still going to want to make a nice crease. So this was a handy tool to have. Yeah. Okay, so now that we have our little envelope built, we're going to do some glue. And you want to just gauge where you're gluing with, I'm using my finger so I know. And you just do one side at a time. There's no rule that says you have to do both sides. And just like that, we have a beautiful envelope. Just, if you catch the glue, you can just, and there we have our beautiful envelope. And what's even more beautiful is now we can put one of these gorgeous images. And I haven't even used all the images she gives us. Let me just go back through, and then I'm gonna put this video on YouTube for all of you to watch. Leave me comments down below if you liked the video, or if you need, you know, Maria, you just need to stop talking and make books. I'd be fine with that too. But again, I really just wanted to make sure that if you do purchase this kit, you could make something and just have that gratification of making something yourself. There's nothing like it. So anyway, so there's our envelope. We can put this in the top. We could put it in one of our little side pockets. We could paper clip it maybe to the other side of this wallpaper here. That'll kind of keep it nice and flat for a while. There's so many different things you can do once you make your own book. The ideas are endless. So just a run through, you get the beautiful Saint Rita and Sacred Heart. You get these gorgeous frames, which I'm gonna fold up and put in one of the pockets, because isn't this just the perfect journaling card? You get these journaling cards as well. You get this beautiful miraculous image of Mary, which is an amazing story. You can Google that, and there's also a medal that comes with it. You get a gorgeous rosary, and then the journal papers. Right, I hope I'm not forgetting anything. You'll be able to see in the listing. Now don't forget, I used the Dreamy Blue kit for my blue papers. So if this is something that you wanted to have as well, I'm gonna link that kit below for you. And then just thank you all so much for hanging out with me, watching this craft with me. I love making these, and I hope this inspires you to maybe make your own prayer book for yourself or for a loved one, and just, you know, help someone out in a time that they need something beautiful. So that is the main reason why I just really want to make sure you know how to make something, so that we can just share beautiful handmade things in the world and help each other out. So thank you so much again. God bless. Leave me comments. Of course, follow me on Instagram at Under the Night Moon if you want. You can like this video and subscribe if you want to follow me and my work. But just other than that, have a really great day today. And thank you so much. Okay, bye-bye. Oh, and thank you, Debrina, for creating this amazing collection of papers. I am your biggest fan. I adore your collage pages so much. I can't wait to just create more things with them. So just a shout out to you for just being so gracious. And yeah, I'm just in love with everything. So thank you so much. All right, bye-bye.